Thank you so much, Kaori. Welcome, everyone. Apologize for this slight delay. We had some technical issues that we're trying to solve. Before sharing with Latif, the Secretariat of the African Association of Road Safety Lead Agencies, just some housekeeping aspects. You will see we have, and while people start joining, please have a look. We have interpretation available, French, English. You will see a little world under your screen, and there you can choose between English and French and or original audio. So please set your audio accordingly. Alors pour tout le monde en français, bienvenue. Merci pour être ici avec nous.
Welcome to all the virtual participants. Regarding interpretation, we have this webinar in English and in French. You have a small icon at the back of your machine. You select in that icon and you'll be having English or French or original audio.
Having said that, I'm going to pass it for Latif, who is in charge of the Secretariat of the African Road Safety Lead Agencies Association. Latif, over to you. Okay, so maybe Latif is having some audio issues. So we're going to go first to the opening remarks from the AARSLA president. President, please, your opening remarks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maricela, and the entire SSATP team. On behalf of the AARSLA Executive Committee, that includes the Secretariat and the consultants, I want to thank everyone, the participants and the team that organized this, and especially the presenters of today led by Benin for the preparation and being here today. This being our first... Hello? You can hear me?
Okay.
Andrew,
we can hear you, but we cannot see you. If you don't mind turning on your camera, that would be great.
I don't know what's happening with my camera. I put that it gives me a SSATP background.
Let me put it.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I get.
Yeah, just open your camera on the computer, because it seems that it's the camera not plugged in.
Yeah, okay. Kelly, I was trying to... Let me see. The camera, okay. Let's change because that camera says yes. Okay. I'll seek some assistance on the camera, maybe.
Yeah, don't worry. Please go ahead while it's fixed. Yes, please proceed.
Yes.
Thank you.
So like I was saying, on behalf of the Executive Committee, we really want to thank everyone who has made it to this seminar. To AARSLA, this is particularly important because it's the first seminar that we are organizing, and we are really happy that it is happening, and it's setting pace for the many seminars that we will be having moving forward. So thank you very much, Benin, for leading this. And all the participants, that is, will include Maricela, Nathalie, Zinzo, Winston, Alinakon, and of course, Ariel Sacramento from Benin. So we want to wish everyone, I don't want to take a lot of time because the main event is the seminar, the presentations. So I want to wish everyone some good participation as we look forward to great insights from the presentations that have been lined today. So thank you very much, and let's enjoy the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, AARSLA President. And now we're going to go with Vice President Ariel Sacramento from Benin for your keynote address, please. Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Perfect, thanks.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Let me just open up the document and then I'll share. Just as info, the presentation will be in French, as all the presentations from the Benin side will be, and translation is available. If French is not your first language, feel free to set up or at least set it up so that English translation is readily available. Just bear with me a second, please.
Although, Ariel, just your welcoming remarks, actually, rather than the presentation, if you would like.
So,
yes, thanks.
Thanks, Maricela, for reframing. Really happy. I'm looking at the counts. We have 124 people on the call right now, which is quite exciting. Thanks for everybody who's promoted the event. I'm glad we have so many folks joining. The topics we will be discussing today are very important. Hopefully you all get some takeaways that you can appreciate whether they're applicable to your country, to your situation, wherever you're from. And happy to have follow-up conversations after the different presentations, if needed.
Thank you very much, Vice President Ariel. I think Latif, we have him on the line as well. So Latif, as the head of the Secretariat of the African Association of Road Safety Lead Agencies, you want to give your opening remarks? Please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure joining us.
Sorry, Latif. There is some echo, so it looks like you are connected in two devices at the same time. So could you please turn off one of them?
Okay. It's my colleague device. I've told them to put it off.
If you can turn it off, please, that would be great. Otherwise, we hear some echo.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Better, yes. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning, Pastor. Good morning, everyone. My name is Amani, the head of the secretariat at the AARSLA Waso Secretariat in Abuja. We are grateful to have all of you on board this morning. For the first time in the month of April, we are having this webinar. And just as the first vice president said, we've recorded over 100 participants as we are speaking. So it's encouraging. And we hope that others will soon join us. This is a good one. And we hope that this is a learning process and the success of this webinar will linger, and then it will be a reawakening for safer journeys to schools in Africa. Once again, you are most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Latif, the head of the Secretariat. So with that, we're just going to walk you through several presentations and examples from Safe Journeys to School and from our technical partners. I'm just going to do the frame of that presentation very quickly. Please let me know if you can see my screen. So when we talk about safe journeys to school, we're really talking about improving and enhancing the lives of our childrens. Many of them and face a lot of very big issues when just going towards their school, not only on safety, actually on road safety, but also gender-based violence. And that's one of the first causes of dropping out from school. So that is why it's so important that we take care of it. The idea of this, I'm going to be presenting some of the work that we're doing through SSATP. We're currently preparing a regional toolkit that will, in a very simple way, enhance that safety through practical strategies for those kids that go to school. What's the rationale and the urgency? As I said, well, the problem is huge. And this again, these numbers are just rough numbers because we know that it's very underestimated, unfortunately, in most of our countries. But just to give you rough numbers, almost 200,000 children under the age of 18 years old die every year from road crashes. And that's about 500 lives of girls are lost on this prematurely, on this terrible and preventable cause of death. This is not a natural cause of death. This is man-made, and it is foreseeable, and it is preventable. And that is why it's so important that we do work on this. It's the first cause of death among children aged between 15 to 19 years old. And again, we are preparing. There's a lot of investments from countries, from development partners, of improving schooling, of improving skilling, and preparing them for jobs. And the reality is that we're actually killing them on the roads. We're killing them on their way to schools, and we're killing them on their way to those opportunities. So it doesn't matter how much we invest in creating those schools, in creating those jobs, if those people are actually dying on the way to that school or on the way to that job. So that is why it's so important, it's paramount, and it's crucial, and it's not optional to actually work on improving the safety on these mobility patterns. It's a number 2 cause of death among children between 5 to 14 years old. So again, the future of our countries is being killed on our roads for something that is preventable. It's so sad because many people just get used to this. While I've been traveling across Africa, I've seen myself directly this happening in front of my eyes. And when I shock around that, and when I just, literally almost, like get into panic attack almost about it, people are just like, yeah, this happens every day. And people just get used to it. Even the teachers sometimes when they see it, they're like, yeah, well, this is the 5th in the month. And this is, sorry, but this is not acceptable. This is not normal, and this should never, never, ever, we should never, ever be accustomed to this and just consider it as something normal. Please never sleep towards this. We shouldn't be able to sleep knowing that this is a reality in our schools and in our countries. So the crisis is huge. When we look into Africa's numbers in general, we see, and again, underreported numbers. We have over 100, 259, almost 260, with numbers from 2021 of deaths every year in Africa. This is the highest, world's highest road road fatality rates. Most are affecting most of the vulnerable road users, meaning pedestrians, cyclists, motorcyclists, and many of them are children. And most of the people being affected are actually those that have low income and that basically are exposed to unsafe roads, unsafe sidewalks, and or just the lack of them, unsafe and or lack of safe crossings or crossings at all. and any kind of traffic calming that is increasing their risks. This, of course, it's not only affecting the people, the families, and the local communities, but also it's draining our GDP, is draining our economies, not only economically, that it's between 3 and up to 7, and in some countries actually almost 9% of the GDP, but it's actually also worsening by killing your most productive population. So this is everyone is just basically losing double on this regard. And I'm not even talking about the mental and the emotional part of it. Now, why is this kind of programs important? Because by designing safe streets and safe roads, we're not only protecting children, we're protecting everyone, and we're making a more productive and more healthier, active lifestyle. So this is in the winning for everyone, not only the kids again. So what we're doing in this regional toolkit, we're putting together all the different mechanisms, tools, and a regional framework that will offer not only a way for everyone, particularly obviously governments and international partners and development partners, but also communities themselves, also schools themselves, NGOs, and everyone that is interested to really be able to work on pilots, step by step, framing work, again, with the support of governments or partners, to reducing road traffic fatalities, especially among children walking towards schools and using many times roads and corridors that are not designed for this activity. At the same time, mitigating gender-based violence, that again, unfortunately, many of our kids are facing it towards their way to school. The project implementation of this basically goes from starting clear objectives, gathering the safety data from collecting road crashes reports, health records, but also identifying those hazardous locations for targeted action, defining the scope. So where are we going to be working? Only around that school, in the school zone, or also across the journey towards where the schools are living and where the schools are set. Now, I just want to share with you that also from SSATP and some of our partners, we're also working with loans and investments of education to actually help education ministries to best select areas to locate and to enhance schools based on the actual location of the transport facilities and roads and so forth. You need to do an assessment of the resources that you have. The toolkit is going to facilitate roughly in that selection. You need to assess the budget that you have in terms of human resources, but also in terms of budget and in terms of time. So how much time do you have for this, and making it feasible as to apply the toolkit. Based on these elements, you will have a selection of different tools to select the diagnosis and to fit the scope, and to select the different recommendations based on those tools, and tailor the diagnosis approaches based on these basic different tools. We're going to be hearing from some of the presenters the use of these tools, different tools. They are all very important, and the selection of them should again be based on the problem you're trying to solve, the scope, the budget you have available, and the feasibility based on your potential team, etc. So it's very important to count with a multidisciplinary implementation team with road safety experts on infrastructure, sociology, GBB or social safeguards as well. And a local liaison officer that is really familiar with the actual patterns of mobility from the community, where people live, where people move, how they do it, and why they do it as such. Because if we don't have that local community officer that is in constant communication with the community, we will make a lot of mistakes. And well, we'll need to be observant. So I'm going to close just with this, just the elements and the application of the toolkit. I already explained the purpose. It's based on the safe system approach. It has a lot of importance on the collaboration and inclusion. Very important to be close to the community. We're going to be hearing more about that, community engagements from Ariel, the Vice President of AARSLA. And the flexibility and scalability. It's very important that the toolkit and the activity that you work on is flexible enough to adapt to the different scales. These are basically the main elements that you will encounter. We're going to launch it before June, so stay tuned. But still, we wanted to share what's in it. We have many of the partners in this call actually reviewing it and providing comments so we can improve this document. And so it stays very practical, very simple, but yet impactful. So we're going to go from data mapping, stakeholder engagement, some of the different tools that include mobility surveys, among others, infrastructure inspections, very important, and different ways of doing it, from observational studies to satellite imagery and some others, and how to monitor the actual behaviors and conditions along with the stakeholder engagement. So just as a conclusion, again, we need to do this because it is important and we cannot stay dormant towards this because it's affecting us, everyone. Second, we need to base it on data. We cannot just try to do it without any information regarding it. We need to do it under evidence. We need to have very involved community, really understand why they're doing such behaviors and not blaming them, but rather supporting those behaviors with infrastructure and others. But it's very important, again, that this creates ownership for those measures on the community and the children themselves. If they don't understand it, if they don't care, if they don't agree, they will never use it, and therefore it will be unsuccessful. And a collaborative commitment between the authorities, the government, the NGOs, and other partners. It's very, very important to have this multi-sectorial approach and collaborative commitment. With this, I will end, and I will pass it over. Latif, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Maricela, for that beautiful presentation. It was well researched, and we enjoyed the presentation. Thank you. I just a recap. No, she started with the causes, how children are killed on their way to school, then as the leading cause of death of children of school age, and some other things like that. Then the interventions that needed to be put in place, and then the recommendations. Thank you. But I want to other presenters, I want to limit it to 7 minutes. So I don't want to repeat what you have said. So, but in 7 minutes, I want to call on Natalie if she's readily available. By my time here is 11:28. So in about 11:35, I should be able to, if you see my hand raised up or I say hello, so please try and conclude so that we take on another presenter. Thank you very much. Natalie, if you are there, Natalie Chiavaza.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much, Latif. I promise I will be short. Let me share my screen and start straight away. Thank you so much, Maricela, for your presentation. I think you can see it, right?
We can.
Go ahead,
okay,
please.
Great. So, hi everyone, I'm Natalie Chiavaza from the International Road Assessment Program, IRAP. Today, I want to talk about designing safer school environments, more specifically about how road design can better protect children. You know, at IRAP, our vision is to eliminate high-risk roads from the entire world network. This is particularly important around schools, where children are the most vulnerable road users. You know, road safety or good road safety around schools is not about implanting signs. It is about designing roads that can forgive mistakes, slow down vehicles, and match the way children behave and perceive traffic. Children are daily road users. They walk, They cross the road, they gather in groups, and they offer travel independently from and to the schools. They are the most vulnerable road users and the most affected by traffic crashes. Every day, more than 500 children die on their way to school. However, traditionally, road design is not made for them. Children are not just small, they have physical and cognitive limitations that directly affect how they interact with traffic. Physically, children are shorter. They are more easily hidden by car parks, vegetations, or roadside obstacles. The field of vision is limited, which make it harder to see and approaching vehicles for them. Their balance, body, but also their capacity to stop suddenly or run on the road when they exit the school. Cognitively, until the age of 9, they have a limited sense of distance and speed. They mainly focus on what is directly in front of them, and they will not very well perceive where the sound is coming from. Because of these limitations, children rely more on the road design than on applying the rules. Accordingly, what does it mean for us as road infrastructure specialists? Road infrastructure on the way to school and around the school has to be more legible, more visible, and designed to naturally reduce speeds. The main objectives are simple and achievable by all of us: providing safe walking along the road, enabling safe and protecting crossing points, especially around the school, and providing a safe access with speed management. Visibility and legibility are keys. First, the road to school must be clearly identified and mapped out and evaluated. And then, treatments typically include removing roadside obstacles that can hide children, managing parking, which is often a major visibility problem, providing continuous protected sidewalks, shoulders, providing clear, visible school-related signage and physical road safety measures. These solutions are extremely effective, especially in Africa where budgets are more limited. The use of simple, very effective solutions can improve visibility, such as advanced sidewalks, reducing the time and distance for crossing the road, and improving visibility. For example, road design strongly influences how fast people drive. Wide, straight road will encourage speed, even if there is a school, even if children are present. But when the road is designed and implemented and constructed with narrow lanes, visual cues, changes in the surface and the alignment, drivers will instinctively slow down. Good design encourages a speed reduction without relying on signing or enforcement, and this is vital, critical around schools. Children move, they run, they stop suddenly, they change direction, and that's why sidewalks, separated paths, barriers, and channelized access are vital. They can protect children. And the goal is not to restrain children from movement, is to guide safer movement. Crossing the road is one of the highest risk moment for every children on the road. Safe crossing should include clearly located, highly visible, very easy accessible, designed to slow down vehicles, safety treatments. Effective low-cost solutions include race crossing, central refuges, marked well-signalized crossing, shorter crossing distances. Again, many of these measures are simple, inexpensive, very effective, and yet missing around our schools in Africa. Let's have a look to a few great examples from our continent. Botswana's success story with Star Rating for Schools, the IRAP tool, an NGO, and the Road Safety Ambassadors have assessed 31 primary schools and 10 junior secondary schools. Today, 31 government districts road safety committees have been trained as trainer and now are training the communities in their districts. In Zambia, from the NGO Amen with the Zambian Road Safety Trust, you can see huge improvement in many schools. In Vietnam, the AIP Foundation and the National Program for All Primary Schools Treatment as a mandatory policy target. Uganda, and you can download it for free as a PDF online, has provided last year all of us with a safe school design guidelines where you can see many very simple, very effective examples on how to improve safety around schools. Here again, you can find from the IP Foundation treatments, typical treatments to reduce speed, improve pedestrian crossing, signing, markings, but also accessibility, sidewalks, and protective infrastructure on the way to school and in front of the school. Other useful resources include designing safe speeds, design for safe schools, designing streets for kids, IRAP star rating of the Global Street Design Guide. At the end, I want to mention our star rating for school tool. It's a very simple, friendly, but very impactful tool where you can get a free certifying training online, all for free. If you visit the web page, you will learn how to access, have a star rating. You will get treatment suggestions with a BCR, benefits cost ratio for each of the road safety treatments. You will be guided and advised on how to implement the road safety treatments, and then you can show the before and after situation. As you can see, we have already impacted thousands of schools and thousands of children and students. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Thank you very much, Natalie. And I want to appreciate IRAP for the good job IRAP is doing in Africa. This is very encouraging. And we want to call on authorities across Africa, the school children, the stakeholders, to ensure, to key into the IRAP initiative of safe journeys to school. Thank you once again. With that, I want to take us to Benin Republic. A presenter from Benin Republic, a statistician, chef de service de réglementation des transports routiers et aériens. I'm talking of Monsieur Sinzu, bienvenue, from the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport from Benin Republic. If you have joined us, please, Monsieur Sinzu, vous êtes la bienvenue. So you have 7 minutes, please. 7 minutes. By my time, I have it's 11:39 here in Abuja. So by 11:40, let me just give you add 1 minute. By 11:46, I should be able to stop it. Thank you, sir.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Merci, chers participants.
Thank you, Chairperson. I am bienvenue Zinso. I am transportation official, head of the regulatory transportation. While waiting to share my screen with you, I am in charge of making a presentation on school mobility, specifically the role of formal and informal systems. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see it.
Voilà. Est-ce que c'est visible?
Can you see the screen that I'm sharing? Not yet. We cannot yet see your screen sharing.
C'est bon?
Oui, c'est bon.
Is it okay now? Yes, it is. As I was saying a moment ago, I am supposed to make a presentation on school mobility in Benin, specifically the role of formal and informal road transportation. And I need to start by saying that we have mobility that is a key issue today. We actually need to focus on mobility in economic activities due to increased urbanization. And we are having these challenges in our countries, specifically here in Benin. And I need to tell you that fatalities due to road safety is critical for those children. We have more than 5,000 fatalities, and this is a very high number. In our country, Benin, we have two systems that are operating. We have the formal system and the informal system. And I would like to present to you the formal transportation system regarding the mobility of our children. Children can be walking, trekking, and more than 70% of school children are trekking or walking. That is a traditional transportation means, and 5% are using a cycle to go to school. And I need to add that we have a risk of accidents or road insecurity. And we also have those motorbike riders. And the motorbike riders are transporting school children in very challenging conditions. It is a transportation means that is rapid, but with a lot of risk, specifically accidents. And in hospitals, in emergency wards, we have 30% of accidents that are recorded and that are coming from the accidents of motorbike riders or the passengers who are injured and who are being transported to emergency wards. And we also have traffic rules that are not complied with. And apart from this transportation mode, we have some parents that are transporting their children in motorbikes or in cars, and that gives those school children a high security and safety, but we need to add that this is a very costly means of transport, specifically for parents. And those children should rely on the personal means of their parents. And still in the informal system, we also have urban taxis or cabs that are also part of mobility in towns. And we also have vans, urban vans that are transporting people in towns or between different towns. School children are using these means, but cost remain high. Apart from these informal means, we have a formal means in towns that is a service that has been set up by the government. Those taxis are not easily accessible, but they remain available. We also have taxis with counters that we have in our towns, and these are digital platforms that can be used, and all these means do exist in our towns. And we also have those high costs as well as the impact coming from pollution. And we should keep at the back of our mind that those transportation means should be safe. And we also have a common transportation means, specifically in universities. But for school children, we specifically have private stakeholders that are organizing that, but the costs are so high that they are not accessible to all households, and infrastructures at times are not adapted to these transportation means. And to sum up, informal transportation means is part and parcel of mobility, and here we have a lot of risk, but we need to improve all these transportation means that remain informal for the time being. And in order to take up this challenge, the government of Benin has decided to set up regulatory instruments, and we have texts intended to improve the transportation system and road safety. And we have the traffic rules that is being considered at the National Assembly. And we also have regular controls in order to restrict the speed. And we also have education on road safety in schools. And we should also incorporate traffic roads and traffic requirements and traffic standards in our school curricula. And we do intend to have zebra crossings and other schemes in order to improve general mobility and specifically the mobility of school children. So it means that we have activities that have been undertaken by our government in order to improve transportation means and to improve road safety. I think that I will stop there, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Monsieur Sinzu. we really commend your efforts for giving us these updates and a well-researched paper from Benin Republic. I want to say that when next I visit Benin Republic, particularly Cotonou, that Tokwa, please make it available for me from the border so that I can take you to my destination. Merci beaucoup, monsieur. De l'Ouest africain, nous allons au Sud-Afrique. Ça c'est Uganda. The next presenter, please, for our participants, please keep your questions. At the end of the presentations, we'll take all the questions, please. We attend to them. Then, if you can as well be sending your questions on the chat box, so we will really attend to them. So, from West Africa, we move to the southern part of the continent. We want to hear from Mr. Winston Katushabi, who is a commissioner for transport and regulation and safety, as well as chief licensing officer at the Uganda Ministry of Works and Transport. So, Mr. Winston, please, if you are online, let's see you. Put on your video, and then in the next 7 minutes, we want to listen to you. Thank you once again.
Sorry, my apologies. The power has gone off. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Very loud and clear, sir.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, very loud. Excellent audio.
You can hear me. My apologies.
We can hear you, sir.
Yes, I got some power disruption, so my camera cannot. Whether my camera, let me check my camera. Yeah.
Yes.
It's fine.
I can see you.
I have switched to the machines because the machine I was using, I had to quickly change. So, thank you, my friend. Thank you for inviting me to this webinar. It's a pleasure for Uganda to share with you the subject matter of today, the child road safety policy and how it is applied within the school zones and within the country. Marcel, I think in the interest of time, let's move very fast. Let's go to the next slide. Yes, so in form of introduction, you can see Uganda, just like any other African country, we still have challenges of road safety crisis. Fatalities daily average is about 15. Last year, I think there was a typo there. It should be 5,383. But anyway, the point is that we still witness high crashes in the country, just like any other country in the world, and this is not good for us. And of course, every day in Uganda, children face serious risks simply trying to get to school. And these road crashes claim lives, cause injuries, and even disrupt education. And it's one of the challenges we are facing. So in a response, Uganda took a bold step. That was in 2025 last year, by launching a national guide for establishment of school zones, which is a landmark frame to protect children on their journeys to and from Uganda. I want to thank Nathalie who displayed that while presenting. So you can see these are the statistics, not very good statistics. 2024, you can see between the age of 0 to 24 and 2025, cumulatively, you can see we are not doing well because of either poor infrastructure or any other area that affect the children to reach to school safely. So that's part of the statistics we are bringing, but also some of these, as you are aware, most of these causes are a result of speed. And therefore, that's why we are coming up with a number of engagements and a number of interventions to deal with one of the monsters that cause fatalities in terms of speeding. Now, we find that most of these schools, what causes this Those are the risk areas. The school zones are located along highways, pedestrian infrastructure. You find the infrastructure is in a poor state. As I said, speeding because of the shared roads, then inadequate enforcement, signage, and in fact, hundreds of children die annually due to road crashes, many occurring near school zones. Sometimes this could be as a result of also physical planning. Let's continue in the interest of time, Marcela. So these are risk factors in school zones. Of course, it is showing the analysis. If you use 30 kilometers, maybe then the survival rate will be 90% and maybe 10% fatality risk. Let's continue. These are just examples. I think the participants will have to go through this. Okay. So these are risk factors in school zones: shared lanes, motorized and non-motorized traffic, visibility of school children. Students have small physique, which limits their visibility. They are very small. You can see the infrastructure there. And then you can see this, what we call the border in Uganda, East Africa. But also road safety awareness and skills, they are still inadequate for most of our people. So now, before 2025, this is what happened. You can see no standardized school zone design, limited coordination. There was no coordination between education, Ministry of Transport, police, and other key stakeholders. So it was a mix. In other words, you would go by reactive safety measures as opposed to the standard measures which have been provided either at the global level and also the national guidelines. Next. I'm sorry, I have a cold, so if you hear my voice disappearing, then you know where the problem is. Okay, so this is our policy response. Like I said, the policy response to 2025. In May 2025, Uganda launched the Africa First National Safe School Zones. And this is very, 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 very important in terms of our implementation. And those are some of the key areas you have seen. Marcela is trying to take you through. It is important that, as my sister Nathalie had said, these are some of the school children trying to advocate for the 30-kilometer school zones, level crossings, zebra enforced by traffic wardens. We have Rambo and hump strips markings, refugee islands, bicycle lanes. All these are provided. I want to quickly move to key features of the guide. If you can move very fast, ahead. These are just components. This is the basic infrastructure, the sidewalks. Yeah. So let's quickly go to the key features, Marcela, on the next. Yes. Next. All these are just components, just to show you. Okay, the key features. First, it defines school zone and safety standards. It introduces a safer system approach where humans make mistakes and they are weak and no death is acceptable. It provides guidance on infrastructure design, speed management, road safety audits, and then the gradual reduction of speed from 80 to 50 to 30 kilometers. Integration of this, you have seen how we have done it. One, we have the National Road Safety Action Plan in terms of targets 50% reduction in death by 2030. The government has new regulations, 2020 on speed limit regulations. We have an NMT policy, non-motorized transport, and then we have the Traffic and Road Safety Act, CAP 347, but also other players like Ministry of Education, local governments, and policies. Now, we also have what you call multi-sectoral collaboration. You have seen now the multi-sectoral collaboration here. Maybe before this, I will also mention that Ministry of Education has also formally now integrated the guide into education policy, what we call the National Road Safety Community Platform. Framework Charter. You can now trickle down from the national level, subnational, local governments, and the schools. And these can incorporate all these safe school zones, education, and awareness. And we want to thank our partners, SSATP, this is a civil society, and the Safe Transport and the Survival Support Uganda, which we have been working with to come up with some of these. Now, on multi-sector collaboration, this is very important. I have heard, I think, Marcela talking about it. You can see government ministries. Ministry of Works as a lead agency, then we have Ministry of Education and Sports. We have civil society. We have indicated that, and all other agencies that feed into this, including the international partners. We want to thank Global Road Safety Partnership and Global Health Advocacy Incubator. These are part of the multi-sectoral support in all other stakeholder arrangements. So we want to appreciate their support. Let's continue. The moderator has given me little time. Next, please, Marcela. Yeah, implementation approach. As part of the rollout, we are doing pilot school zones. We are integrating this into road projects, capacity building for local authorities, partnership. But also, I must say, because I didn't want to make long slides, that we have also had some road safety assessments where there are star rating for schools, mandatory school zone audits, infrastructure upgrades, community level actions, awareness campaigns, parent and school engagement, and enforcement of speed limits. However, what is coming up in Uganda is that these other assessments show many school areas still rate low on safety, indicating a need to scaling implementation. Of course, we have some challenges as we impose this, funding constraints, then enforcement, consistency. You have seen people still think 30 kilometers in a school zone, it is something that you should not talk about. But also rapid urbanization. You are on a highway, then you bring schools. You find mushrooming of schools where the highway, maybe the posted speed should be 120 or 100, but because there are schools now, you have now to identify that area as a school zone, and therefore the speed must go down. Before I go to call to action, we have key lessons we want to say we have learned from this for Uganda's case. It is important for policy alignment is a key, integrate into national strategies, and of course, institutional ownership matters involve multiple ministries, legislative guidelines, strong enforcement, data-driven tools. I have heard Marcela talking about it, community engagement to ensure sustainability. Now, our call to action is that guidelines are key. Therefore, adopt national school zone guidelines. Number 2, coordination is very important, strengthen cross-sector coordination. 3, these guidelines also, of course, will require funding. So we need to prioritize funding for child safety. Very, very, very key. And of course, we need to share best practices across countries, just like we are doing now. And I want to end by saying Uganda's 2025 Safe School Zone Guide is more than a policy document. It is a national commitment to saving children's lives by embedding safe routes to school into national frameworks. Uganda is setting a precedent for other countries in Africa and beyond. And therefore, safe journeys to school are not a privilege, but they are a right. I want to thank you. I'm done.
Thank you, my brother from Uganda.
I will join you in I will join you in Lagos when I come one of these days.
We were together in Lusaka last year. So
yes,
I was taking you to have come from the southern region. So you're from East Africa. Thank you. And that is the region of our president. Thank you for that beautiful presentation. From there, we want to listen to international non-governmental organization. their interventions into what they have done so far in Africa. And the presenter is an African who is working with international body that just like we have IRAP, the AMEN. So permit me to call on Ayikai Poswayo, a Ghanaian who has been dedicated to ensure safety of our children across the continent. So if you are with us, please unmute yourself, put on your video, and let's listen to you in the next 7 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we.
Okay, great. So my name is Ayikai Poswayo. I'm a program director with AMEND. AMEND is a road safety non-governmental organization, and we do work across Africa. We have offices in Ghana, Tanzania, and Mozambique. We'll be opening an office soon in Côte d'Ivoire. But we also work across the continent and partner with other NGOs in these places. The goal of our organization and our programs is to deliver safe and healthy journeys and improved lives across the continent through a variety of programs. So today I'm going to be talking about the Safe Schools Africa program. The program is a partnership currently between AMEND, the FIA Foundation, and the French Development Agency. So FIA Foundation and AFD are the main donors of the program, and AMEND is the implementing partner of the program. There are a number of components of the program. The two main components are the technical assistance we offer to road project teams, and then the installation of safe school zones, or what we call SASAs, around schools. And I'm so glad that we've heard lots of inspiring stories of how safe school zones are being integrated as part of policy across a number of countries. Across these two main components, there's also advocacy and capacity building, which is part of it. This is an example of one school in Tanzania where we installed a safe school zone. And as you know, has been discussed already, this is nothing complicated. It's separating children from traffic, slowing traffic down where children and traffic must interact by traffic calming measures, providing safe crossing points, footpaths, and the like. But I think the more important aspect of this program is really trying to take this to scale across the continent. And we do this through implementing these principles on roads projects, which are taking place across the continent. As we know, the African continent is urbanizing very fast. New roads are being built every day, and we need to grab this opportunity to ensure that for every new road which is built, we have taken into consideration the needs of the children in schools along this road. We see one example of a road from Mozambique where a single road, which was 67 kilometers in length, had 43 schools along it with over 76,000 children. So we see great opportunity here. And another reason why this is so important to apply it on new roads which are being built or old roads which are being rehabilitated is because that way we can also leverage funding which have been allocated on these projects to ensure that they are utilized for safe infrastructure for children. We get involved in these projects by two main means at the moment, either through an introduction from the Multilateral Development Bank side or directly through government. So we have road agencies and project implementation units in the countries where we work approaching us directly to ask if we can provide input on projects. We can get involved at any stage of a project, right from the feasibility study stage or the planning stage up until post-construction. But of course, as you can imagine, it's more efficient and we get better results if we can plan for children at the outset. So when a new project is being designed, when the project appraisal documents are being put together, if at that stage before that, actually, we can come in and really conduct a full study to understand what the requirements of school children are, what the current challenges they face are, and what can be done to mitigate these challenges, and include all that as part of the planning stage. Then we have better results than coming in at a later stage where budgets have been already agreed, where designs have already been signed off, and where we would basically be doing retrofitting on that project. The Safe Schools Africa methodology is an 11-stage process, right from the beginning of project identification, going out to map the schools, understanding what the challenges are through interviews, through on-street data collection, coming up with a summary of infrastructure recommendations, our findings and recommendations, engaging with the project team to see what is possible on the project, and then staying on through to construction and even after construction where there may be some road safety education provided as well. I'm going to just flip through these slides just to show you some images from this process. So this is a road in Ghana where some schools were mapped out close to the project roads. As I mentioned, we do engagement with the children as well as teachers and parents and community members to really understand what the needs are specific to the schools along the road. We then also collect data on site, speed surveys, traffic counts, pedestrian counts to get a clearer picture. And we've started the implementation of drones, using drones to collect some of this data. We're finding this very useful. We're able to get a good picture of the trajectories of pedestrians, vehicles along a road. This is a road in Mozambique. And you can see the yellow lines are the movement of pedestrians, mostly children, coming out of the school on the right. And the green are cars and the blue are motorcycles. These are some of our meetings where we engage with the project team to present these findings and really brainstorm on what is possible on that particular project. For projects where there have been some preliminary designs already done, we can help annotate these designs to show exactly where the children are crossing the roads, where we recommend certain features to be implemented. And sometimes the features may not be directly related to or seemingly not related to road safety. In one study, we found that a lot of children were crossing the road to fetch water across the road. So we made a suggestion that a water point should be installed at the school to prevent those unnecessary journeys across the road. We can also provide standard safe school zone layouts or also layouts which are specific to the schools which we are studying. This is also an example from Zambia where some of the information we gathered was included as part of the request for proposals for the contractors. As I said, we stay on till construction. And this is mainly because, as you know, construction projects, roads projects are very complicated. And so sometimes, you know, what may have been agreed to be done at the beginning, when push comes to shove, budgets are tight, there may be challenges in implementing this. And so we really stay on to brainstorm with the team on what is possible if any challenges of implementation are faced. These are some of the projects and places where we've worked over the last few years on the continent, and there'll be more countries added to this list shortly. These are some of our current projects, roads projects, which we are giving input on and the stages they are at. And just to touch on some of the challenges and opportunities we face, as we know, roads projects are very long. So sometimes, you know, they can be as long as 10 years. So staying the life of the project requires, you know, some resource allocation to ensure that. We also find there are sometimes changes within project teams, which can then, you know, slow down the process of implementation if some things have been agreed, but then not really embedded fully within the project. And, the list goes on. There are opportunities within Mozambique. We've been collaborating with the implementation of a Safe School Zone guide. So I was very excited to hear about the one in Uganda as well. I'll be downloading that for sure. Some of the results and outcomes, we've had budget allocations on roads projects to this to ensure that safe school zones are implemented in a number of countries. We're also forming a coalition of partners across different countries who are really pushing this agenda forward. We were happy to have Maricela at one of these engagements in Tanzania last year. We had another one, a smaller gathering in Johannesburg in November. And really, these gatherings help us really brainstorm on what is possible on some of these roads projects. And this is our team who is working tirelessly every day on this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Ai, for that beautiful presentation. You are doing a good job. Please ensure it goes to all the communities in Africa. We know that your organization can do that. This is commendable. With that, we want to also listen to an NGO from Benin Republic. If you have visited Benin Republic, you see that Benin Republic is doing well in the area of infrastructure and road safety. And that is why our Vice President will give you that kudos for doing a good job. And an NGO that have been supportive to the road safety body agency in that country, and in Nyon. With permission, I want to invite the representative of the NGO who will be leading us in the next 7 minutes on what the NGO has been doing in Benin Republic in the area of child safety and the safe school journeys. So, le représentant de l'année Nayon, du Bénin, vous avez la parole.
Merci beaucoup et bonjour.
Thank you very much. Good day to all participants. I'm Marshall Thugang, in charge of projects in that NGO, and I'm going to present to you what my NGO is doing in innovative financing and partnerships in order to finance safe school infrastructures. And my presentation will be focusing on 8 items. Introduction. We will tell you what led us to start working in this area, the innovative financing approaches that we have experienced, the concrete steps, the results that we achieve, the challenges, prospects, and then we will conclude. To start with, our NGO has been set up in 2009, and it is involved in promoting road safety, specifically with the protection of vulnerable road users, specifically children. And regarding innovative financing and partnerships, this is at the heart of our activities for years now. What have we noted? We have noted that in Benin, as in many other developing countries, school areas are risky areas. We do not have pedestrian crossings. We do not have security fences in roads. We do not have speed humps. And we also lack road crossing wardens that will be helping children to cross roads. and in this area. And that is why we decided to brainstorm on a few approaches. And we have four approaches. First of all, community awareness building. We decided to gather all stakeholders around road safety, and all stakeholders were able to take part in providing solutions to these issues. And we have decided to set up partnerships with the private sector, and we have been working with private corporations, and we have been focusing on the corporate responsibility for that. And those corporations have assisted us financially in order to secure school areas. And we have also worked with local governments. We made advocacy, and we work with the Cotonou Council that work a lot with us. And we also work with international partners and international NGOs as Handicap International and Amen, and we receive subsidies from them. And these approaches made it possible for us to target achievements, and specifically regarding road safety for school children. Here you can see how we are educating drivers on the importance of speed reduction or speed limitation in school areas. We have also involved parents, meaning that we do intend to increase school safety, and we were able to have pedestrian walkways around school premises, and we have also work with the road safety agency in training road crossing warders to help children when they are crossing roads. And we have also installed road signs near schools with the assistance and support of Handicap International. And still regarding road safety activities, we were able to educate children and teachers in school. You can see in some of the pictures that we are carrying out practical activities. And this has been done with another NGO called Amend. And this is still being done in various schools. We also have partnership with private stakeholders, and we were able to set up a training center for orphans of those that were killed on the roads, or those that have heavy injuries, and we have trained them on a few traits. And today, more than 200 of these children are now working, and we are also organizing road safety days in schools, be they national or international days. And during these road safety days, we are working with other stakeholders, and we are organizing these education activities to focus on the fact that road safety activities should be done by everybody, and we have drafted a practical guide for road safety with the support of the state cooperation. And this was also done with Amend that provided us with some tools that we are still implementing. We also have road signs that we have installed around some schools in Cotonou, because we did not have those road signs asking drivers to slow down. And with our partners, we were able to install those road signs along the school premises. And in some areas, we have also installed some protective items, as well as fences and walls in the city of Cotonou and elsewhere. And all those activities made it possible to achieve concrete results. And today there is increased awareness of drivers who are now slowing down when they are near school areas, and there is a reduction in risky behaviors. There is increased involvement of local communities in protecting school areas, and we have parents in schools that are involved in road safety activities. There is also increased awareness by teachers in terms of road safety. And in some schools, there are road safety activities that are being organized very frequently. And in some schools, they have hired warders to help children crossing roads, and there has been a significant reduction of accidents. And we have also put at the disposal of schools a practical guide on road safety. And this guide was drafted with the support and assistance of teachers and pedagogic advisors. And we should now talk about the challenges. We have inadequate fundings, and we cannot sustain our activities over a long time or extend them. And there is also low involvement of some of the stakeholders, given that we wanted to have a higher involvement specifically of political actors. And we also need technical capacity building. And what are we projecting in terms of future activities? We would like to have more structural partnerships, activities with the private sector. We would like to promote innovative financing schemes that will involve all the country, not only Cotonou. And we also need to increase advocacy for a systematic incorporation of road safety in public policies. And to end my presentation, I would like to note that even with limited resources, it is possible to act effectively with strategic partnerships and innovative fundings. And road safety for our children should be a shared responsibility. This is what I had for you this morning. Thank you for your understanding. We also like.
Thank you very much for that beautiful presentation. Dear participants, please, we crave your indulgence to take the last presentation. But before then, I want to say that all the requests we receive from the chat box, we'll attend to them. All the presentation will be sent to you via the mails which you registered. So you get all the presentations. We assure you that. Then for the questions, you can just keep your questions, then we attend to them just within 3 minutes after the presentation. In my place, when the small masquerade dance, people will clap, but to end it all, the big masquerade will be invited. And that is why the whole community will jump up and begin to sing and dance with the masquerade. So with that, we want to invite the first vice president of AARSLA, who is the Director General of the Centre National de Sécurité Routière du Bénin, Monsieur Aria Sacramento, who is to lead us in the last presentation for this webinar. Monsieur Aria, our first vice president, the big masquerade of AARSLA. You have the floor. Thank you.
Latif, you're too kind. But again, that's how we like you, right? Don't start my timer now. I want to confirm that next time you come to Benin, we'll make sure you have you get a Topa experience for sure.
I will appreciate that.
We will ensure that. Bear with me a second. I'm starting the looking. Okay, there you go. I'm looking for the file to share. You will tell me when you see my screen.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna go to presentation mode. Okay, can you see it in full presentation mode now?
The way we just see I can see engagement communautaire et changement de comportement, et ainsi de suite.
Is it full screen?
No, but we see the presenter mode, not the presentation mode.
You see the presenter mode now?
Yes. From here, I can see the presentation.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you all. Okay, I'm going to switch to French. Donc, bonjour tout le monde. Encore une fois, merci pour tous les présentateurs.
Good day to you all, and I would like to extend my gratitude to all the presenters. I would like to specifically thank those that made presentations for Benin. For the next 5 minutes, I will refer to community engagement and behavior change. This is a very succinct and rapid presentation, and the outline is the diagnostics, fatalities of children in Benin, why behavior change is difficult, the determinants of resistance, and the role of the parents, the schools, communities, and after that, there will be a synthesis of the experience that Benin is sharing with you to set the stage. The problem that we are facing was highlighted by those that took the floor before me. In Benin, school children are a vulnerable segment of the population, and they are one of the most affected segments of the population that are victims of road accidents. 18% are school children and 67% are male. And another number, 78% were circulating without a helmet for those that are riding or using motorbikes. We know the impact each learner that is victim, it is a school dropout, and this is a huge loss for Benin. As Maricela said at the inception of the webinar, we have socioeconomic implications as well as the impact on the GDP. And we also have those that are supposed to be contributing to the economy. And we have those learners here, and we have all the boxes that are covered here. Unfortunately, we have learners from secondary schools as well as those from primary schools, and male learners are most of the victims, and it is at the rush hours in the morning or when they are getting out of schools. There is a loss of focus, not only from the learners as well as from the other road users. And at times we do not have enough light around the schools, and we are having a lot of accidents in urban areas, and they are related with the distribution of schools around the country. Now, regarding the dangerous behavior, why is it persisting? And I do think that, first of all, it has to do with culture and education. If school children see a lot of people on motorbikes without helmets, they will start taking motorbikes without putting helmets. And if we do not ask them to do that, they are not going to do that. There is also economic pressure. Because for the mobility of learners, they are using those motorbikes, and we need to know that children are very vulnerable, and they are using a transportation means that is also vulnerable. And when they are not wearing helmets, accidents can be very harmful. And you need to know that children are just mimicking when they are crossing, for instance, zebra crossings. If, for instance, parents are not wearing the safety road belts, they are just going to adopt the same behaviors. And there is also the absence of road safety standards in school curricula, and they need to be aware of the stakes in order to internalize them. And in a few minutes, I will be referring to the legislative changes that we now have in our country. And the three contributions that we have, first of all, we have the parents. The parents is the one organizing the mobility of the child or the children, and the children should comply with traffic rules. They should make sure that they have good behaviors on the road. They should not use their phone while driving. They should comply with traffic rules, and children will just imitate them. And Amanda gave some interesting examples here, as well as Nathalie. The surroundings of schools should be built in order to secure in the safe system and to make sure that the surroundings of schools are secure, and the children should learn to move after adopting the good behaviors. School parent associations should also make sure that they are transmitting the right messages. And I refer a moment ago to the fact that the school children are going to see what the parents are doing. And in school, schooling is playing a key role here. There should be discipline. We should avoid unregulated parking lots. And if we have to have school police activities in rush hours, we need to know how to do it, and we should have road safety messages in schools. Alenayo gave a few examples here, and we should also know how those school children are moving. We need to make sure that we have secure lanes for those children, and we also need to have road safety clubs in schools. And finally, when this is done, it works perfectly. And in 2026, we are organizing our activities in order to assess their impact. And when we are looking at the program that we have set up, we have pilot programs that were implemented in schools and that are inducing behavioral changes in order to make those changes sustainable. Very quickly, I know that I am done with my 5 minutes. Benin is well advanced with the Act on Traffic Rules that is being considered at the National Assembly. And in the next traffic rules, education in school premises has been enshrined in that draft bill. From primary school to the universities, we'll be having modules on training and road safety education. Then that will certainly increase exposure of all the learners, and we do hope that they will adopt the right behaviors. And as I said previously, those behaviors will certainly shape the future of our roads to walk. Community approach, and we need to educate the children, the civil society, private operators, parents are all contributing in protecting the children. And regarding the last page, you will just be reading it, and the presentation will be shared to all participants. Back to you, Latif.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Monsieur Ariel, the Director General of the CNSR Benin, and our first Vice President. So thank you all for listening. So while we are waiting, we'll take on the questions briefly, but let me just do a kind of a recap of what the presenters have presented so far, so that you may not need to even ask any question when you have listened to all this recap. From all the presentations, we can see that the safe journeys to school is a must. And when you look at, I'm saying this as a in form of takeaways from what the summary of the presentation so far. So that is, every child deserves a safe, reliable journey to school. And then road safety must be treated as part of the education access and child protection, not as an afterthought. So in essence, what that is saying that safe journey to school should be part and parcel of our policies across the continent. Then another thing is that children are among the most vulnerable road users. In that in mind, we need to ensure that we give them adequate protection to ensure the future of Africa, because our future depends on them. So then from there, we look at infrastructure, which saves lives. So public, in a nutshell, public measures like sidewalks, safe crossings, speed calming device at school zones and along our roads should be encouraged, particularly the planners, the road designers, and those that are constructing roads. They should give this a thought, so that when constructing roads, all these features, safety features, are put in place to ensure safety of our children. Not only children, even adults. This issue of hit and run or hit and kill is not becoming so rampant in some countries, and we should ensure we take that into action consideration. So another thing we considered important from the presenter is a multi-sector collaboration. A multi-sectoral collaboration among the partners, the individuals, government agencies, and even civil society agencies, in such a way that we will all arrive at the same destination. So, like the safe system approach that is all encompassing, you can see from the presentations that what the civil societies can do, the government agencies, the private individual, even the NGOs, the politicians, leaders, we can approach them for assistance, interventions. So that is the essence of a safe system approach. Then the other thing we consider most important is behavior change and enforcement go hand in hand, in ensuring safety of our children. So we cannot just be talking without, correcting learning. We say it is a change in behavior, and with awareness, creating awareness, just as we are doing today, in the African continent, we are trying to create awareness in such a way that there will be consideration and attention to the school journeys in our continent. Thank you. So for the questions, I have here a question from Somalia. He wants to know the mechanism for partnership that is available to them, a country like Somalia. That is, he makes the question open. So I'm not going to respond to that. Maybe any of the presenters or maybe Maricela can assist as well, attend to that. So then I will now take on the next question, which is for Natalie on the no? Okay, Maricela, let me allow you to react to that, or any of the presenters. So, funding mechanism, partnership available to a country like Somalia. Thank you.
Thank you, Latif. Well, first of all, I think we've been answering most of the questions that you share in the question and answer section. And some of them we're still answering. The panelists are still working on answering them. Thank you for your active participation. I know we're running late. So just on this financing, I think you've seen through several of the presentations the different ways of these pilots or these interventions are taking place. what I would like to highlight is on one side, yes, there are, for example, MDBs, financing, loans, projects, etc., partners, international partners, regional partners that have grants or specific projects. We've heard from some of them as well in the seminar. But most importantly, my key suggestion is that we should work in internal policies such as Uganda has been working on, because if we have an internal policy and internal regulations and protocols, then it doesn't matter where the budget can come from, or it doesn't matter who's going to finance X, Y, Z road project or road network assessment or whatever. They all need to comply with local or national regulations. So if you have your national regulation up to date on these matters, it doesn't matter if financing is coming from an MDB or from China or from your local national budget, you will still need to take this into account. So my advice will be that while working in getting financing, you work on strengthening your own regulations, norms, and protocols. So then everybody needs to care for this and need to take it into consideration. So that would be my quick big call into really securing your own regulation and structure. Thank you.
Thank you for that beautiful response. So I don't, if there is any other question, just one question, then because we are behind schedule, just a question. If there is none, then we call for the closing remarks from the executive and then the secretariat. Thank you. Just a question. If there is none, then you can just call for the closing of the webinar. You can make yourself and make a question. Okay. Winston?
Yes, I saw someone asking a question. I don't know whether there are other questions. You know, I said I have a very bad cold. And this question reads, how do you handle speeding within the school zones? How do you handle speeding within school zones in Uganda, particularly amongst motorcyclists, given that many tend to ignore road signs even when they are present? Yes, this is still a challenge, as I said. But as I mentioned earlier, we have now regulations for speed, and we are introducing what we call express penalty scheme, installation of cameras along those areas where we know that most of these cyclists and the motorists will be penalized. So we think this is going also to bring some order. But as the participant who asked this question, of course, it's a bigger challenge. It's still a big challenge because most of these motorcyclists, we need really to sensitize them. We need to train them in order to change how they think before they start riding on our roads. But one of the key areas now is to step up enforcement and also use of cameras as part of the interventions to address this device. We are sensitizing them right now. We are reviewing more penalties and see how they can apply to some of these offenders. We are now carrying out workshops across the country, not only for motorcyclists, but also other motorists, so that we can deal with the issue of speed. And as you are aware, not only Africa, but everywhere, speed is one of the major risk factors. So if we can deal with it, I want to be sure that by 2030, Africa will be among the few continents where death or fatalities can reduce by 30% or 50%. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Winston, for that beautiful remarks. So I can see the hands of Mr. Andrew Kiplagat from Kenya, the President AARSLA. Please, you have the floor. In 1 minute.
Sorry, I think that was inadvertent.
Okay.
But I think we'll have another opportunity to make general comments later, right?
Yes, you can make it now.
Yeah, we can make it there.
Yes.
Yeah. So mine is to thank the presenters. This being the first webinar that we are having, I think they've set the bar very high, and it will shape the next programs that we are going to have, which will cut across the many subjects, issues to do with vehicle safety, issues to do with enforcement, issues to do with infrastructure, issues to do with data. And we really do appreciate for really setting the ball rolling. And as the executive committee, together with the consultants that are working with us, of course, with the support of SSATP, we are really committed to make this frequent, because we've all seen the insights that have come out, and this will help us, help the member countries, that's the agencies across Africa, learn. I think that's one of the objectives of AARSLA, that we exchange, we learn, and we advocate. And we believe that this is the best platform to do that, to also give every agency, every country an opportunity to showcase the good things that they are doing, and for the others to learn. So thank you very much. And we are looking forward to more of this. And we commit that we will have this frequently, because it's clearly a very successful activity of the association. So thank you very much, team, the executive. Thank you, participants, and thank you, the other panelists.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew, the DG, the President AARSLA, for that closing remarks. And for all the questions, I think the Secretariat is and the organizers, we are responding to the questions one after the other. Then for the presentations, you have the presentations via the mails you provided while registering. So thank you. And on behalf of AARSLA, we want to appreciate the support of the SSATP, the tanker crew, the interpreters for doing a very good job. So we say thank you to the interpreters and to everybody that has contributed in one way or the other to this success of this webinar. We appreciate you all. And to the team at the AARSLA WASO Secretariat, we appreciate all of you for giving us your time and your efforts to ensure the success of this webinar. And particularly to Maricela, and then our new program the manager for SSATP in Africa. We extend our appreciation to her for giving us the support, and to everybody, and to some people that had technical glitches for joining this program. We really apologize for that. Next one, we will ensure that all these technicalities and the hitches are considered, and then we plan ahead. So please bear with us if you have experienced any technical glitches today while trying to join. Please, we'll ensure that it doesn't repeat itself again. So once again, just let me use the mouth of the president and all the executives to say a very big thank you to everybody. Merci beaucoup. Merci à tous. Merci tout le monde. Thank you and bye-bye.